So this is a quick demo demonstrating how we can use scriptable objects in order to move into the next scene in our game. Basically have a button that when we click it, it's going to switch into the next scene. In order to do that, there's multiple ways to do it, but I'm going to show how to do that with just using scriptable objects. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a scriptable object, as you can see here, and we're also going to then reference a public scene asset, and we're going to call it scene, and this is just going to be our public field that we're going to utilize here to reference in our other scripts. The next script that we're going to work with, I call it LoadScene, and all this is going to have is basically a method called sceneLoader. It's going to have one parameter of type sceneSO, which is our scene scriptable object. It's going to have one basic instance of that, and then we're inside the script is where we're going to recognize the name of that scene. I'm going to store it in sceneName, and then we're going to then use our SceneManager.LoadScene to load the scene. So that's basically what this method is going to do. And then also we need to create a button in order to get all this stuff done. So we have a button, scene button here, which we're going to reference in our UI in a moment, and I'll show you in a second. And basically all that's going to have, this script is going to have a serials field, two serials fields, sorry, and one of them is going to be an instance of our scene scriptable object, and the other one's going to be instance of our load scene. And basically all we're going to do is we are going to have a public method, which we're going to call on our on click, and I'll show you in a second. And all we're going to do is we are going to use the load scene, which is our load scene. We're going to go into the method, the SceneLoader method. I'll show you in a second here. This was our SceneLoader method right here. And then we're going to then pass in an instance of our scene scriptable object, sceneSO, and that's because this particular method takes in as this parameter, the sceneSO. So that's basically what we're going to do. So let's go into Unity for a second, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here we are in Unity. I'm going to go into our scene 1. So this is our scene 1, and I just have a simple UI here with a button, and that takes us to the next scene. So what I've done is I have attached our scene button script and our load scene script to a scene manager, just an empty prefab here, just to kind of attach those scripts. And over here I've attached, there's two serials fields that we had earlier. So this is our sceneSO, and then this is our load scene. So where that comes from is over here under my script. So what I did was I went to create scene reference and basically created an instance of our scriptable object by clicking that. So once I click that, I got that here. So basically that's what these two are right here. Is I have two instances of our scriptable object, one for scene 2 and one for scene 3. In scene 2 I passed in scene 2, so I referenced it here, and then all I did was I clicked on here and I selected my scene. So scene 2 here, and then for scene 3 I clicked here and then clicked at scene 3, and that's basically that. And then over on the scene manager, I assigned scene 2 over here as our reference for our scriptable object. I just passed in our scriptable object over here like that. And then the scene load scene script, I just grabbed it and I attached it here as well. So now these two are set up. So basically this UI is going to take us into scene 2, and then into the next scene. Going to scene 2 over here, same thing. All I did instead was I passed in scene 3 instead. So same setup as well. We have a scene manager, and then we have a scene button here, the script, and then load scene. So and all I did was I passed in scene 3 to our scriptable object. I just passed that right into there, okay? And then SceneManager. Now, one thing that we need to do also is we need to set up our button to do the things that it needs to do. So we go back over here into our scenes, and I'll do that for every scene. So scene 1, that's our next button. I'm going to go into my UI button, go down here, and all it was grab my scene manager, bring it here, and then we go into our scene button script and an on button press. We're going to select that, and basically that's our going back to our script here. This is our on button press. So this is what we are trying to basically get to by attaching that on the on button click. So going back to here, so same thing again on, so save that, going to scene 2, same thing again. As you can see, I've already done it, but I'm just going to show you again. Scene manager, on button press. Okay, and that's basically what it's going is it's going into this scene button here, and then going to our scene and on button press method, and basically calling that. One other thing that we need to do is we also need to add our scenes into our build settings. So go ahead and just drag every single scene over here, and then you'll have the scenes as part of our build setting. That's important, else you're going to get an error. So now we're going to go into VR and see what that looks like. All right, so here I am in VR right now, and we're in scene 1. As you can see, this is our UI that demonstrates that for us. We're going to click on next scene, and that's going to take us to scene 2. As you can see, my position also changed as well. I step back for a second in our first scene, and then click on next scene, and then go into scene 3. So that's a really good way to change scenes. I know there's many ways to do that, but using scriptable object is much better. There's a lot of benefits to it. One of them is definitely memory is one of the things, but I just wanted to use scriptable objects in this particular situation, and it makes it much more a cleaner way to code.